Okay, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we're going to continue our file manipulation. Last episode was part 1. This is going to be part 2, and we have a part 3 coming up after this, so make sure you stay tuned, click subscribe, like, smash that notification bell so you don't miss anything. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some more file manipulation and some directory manipulation commands. Again, we're just keeping this simple. This is the basics playlist. A lot of these commands can be more advanced, and those will be covered in, you guessed it, the advanced series. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get started. The first one we're going to talk about is mv, also known as move. You can move a file to and from different directories with this. Like, for example, I can move text2 to documents, and over here on the right hand side you can tell that that file left, and that's why I put this up here, so we can manipulate on the left hand side here. You can see what we're doing on the command line, and you can see the results in the graphical over here on the right, kind of help tie the two, or tie the concept together. Now I can also do the exact opposite. I can move documents text2 right here to this directory. So I'm just going to use the dot. It represents this current directory that we're in. And when I hit enter, it comes back. So we can do it that way. We can also use the move command to rename a file. So it's move text2 to text3.txt. When we hit enter, it will rename it. And if you noticed over here, the file is now called text3. Okay, so the next command we're going to talk about is copy. And what I can do is I can create a copy of the file. Like, for example, I do cp, which is copy. And I can copy text3 to text2. And now I have 3 text files here. I've got one that's called text, one that's called text2, one that's called the text3. And then if I wanted to move one of those to the documents directory, I can do that using the move command, which we've already talked about. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the make directory, or make dir, mkdir command. Brain freeze there for a second. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a directory called test. Actually, let's call it text. Okay, so we're going to make a directory called text. So you can tell over here on the right hand side it showed up. Now we can move, and this is where we can do wildcards. We can move text, and I'm going to put a star right there. So I'm going to move everything that starts with text into the test directory. Okay. However, let's go ahead and try that. I'm willing to bet it's going to give us an error message, but let's try it. Right there. So it says you cannot move text into itself. So it went ahead and moved the other files. As you can see, those 3 files are gone, but it's complaining that it cannot move the text directory into the text directory itself. Okay, and the only reason why that was triggered is because we put that asterisk on there. Okay, if we move text star.text back to here, it'll put those 3 files back. I also could have done with file extension, so I can move star/.text back here, and it would have done the exact same thing. In fact, we do that, it says that there's no files in the text directory called text. So I'm going to clear this out. A better way to do this command here, okay, is to be less ambiguous. So I'm going to do text star, but then I'm going to put .text behind it. Okay, and then when I do that, now it didn't complain at all, and the files were moved, as you can see. That's because this was a less ambiguous command. This text the text star.txt does not match this directory name. Okay, and I can also move the directory itself I can rename it by moving it as well. To, let's say, text2. And when I do that, it renamed the directory. Of course, we can always do that in reverse. And then you can also move the directory to another directory, to documents, and it's gone. And again, we can also do that in reverse. and it's back. Right there it is. Oh, wait. I did a boo-boo, and I'm glad I caught it. I literally renamed my documents directory to text. So let's change that. Getting ahead of myself. To documents. Okay, so I put that back. What I meant to do is move documents text to text. There it is. Okay, so now it's back. You got to be very careful in the command line. This is why a lot of people say that the command line is difficult to learn. It's not difficult to learn. You just have to understand it, and it's fairly easy to understand if you take it in steps, in small steps like we're doing here. That's why we're starting very simple, and then we'll build that knowledge up from here in other playlists. Okay, so that's move. We did copy. We did make dir. Well, we didn't finish talking about make dir. Let's go ahead and we are going to, let's create another directory, but I want to call this text. I'm going to create it inside the text directory, but then I want to call it, let's just call it Sam. And then inside Sam, I want to create a directory called Bob. Okay. Now, when I hit this, it's going to give me an error saying I can't create that directory because there's no such directory. Well, doy, I'm trying to create the directory. Of course it doesn't exist. What it's complaining about here, though, is it cannot create Bob because Sam does not exist. So the way we fix that is we use a flag called P. Okay, it means parent. So what it's going to do is it's going to create Bob, but if its parent directory, which is Sam, doesn't exist, it's going to create Sam as well. This way, when I hit enter, it's no complaining whatsoever. And over here on the right-hand side, if we go into text, we also have Sam and we also have Bob, just exactly the way we told it to. Okay, but we can also remove directories too with the rm command. So what I'm going to do is, if I do rm, okay, if I hit enter, it says it cannot remove text Sam Bob because it's a directory. Well, we do have an rmdir directory. We do have rmdir, okay, and let's go ahead and do this here. We'll go ahead and do rmdir and see what happens. It's gone. Let's go check it out. Well, Sam is still there. I told it to remove. Actually, what I told it to remove was Bob. Text Sam Bob. So Bob is gone. However, there's an easier way to do this. Let's go ahead and go back up here and create that Bob directory again. I'm going to stop here at this level, though. What I'm going to do is rm, and then I'm going to do recursively, and then I'm going to force it. Otherwise, it'll complain. Or it could complain, especially if there was items inside the directory you're trying to delete. It will tell you the directory is not empty. In fact, let's go ahead and demonstrate that. We're going to touch text Sam Bob, and we're going to just going to touch a text.txt file. Okay, so now if we do an rm and we do the -r and then we do text Sam Bob, I want to remove that directory. It's gone because I did it recursively, which is weird because it should have complained because Bob is not empty. So if it does complain, that's when you go ahead and you put that F flag on there, which is for force. And let's say I want to remove the Sam directory. Go in here and there's Sam. So on the left hand side we hit that and it is gone. Just like that. Now we can remove files, we can remove directories, and we can do it any way you want to do it. If you want to do rmdir, remove directory, you can do that. It has its own set of flags, it has its own man page. I've just always used the rm command. That way I don't have to remember more than one. I can remove files and folders with the same command, and I don't have to memorize the flags for each command. That's just my workflow. Don't let me tell you or anybody else tell you how to do yourself. Your Linux path is your Linux path. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and Make sure you subscribe, smash that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.